How else do you plan to help the economy?
Look, I'm really rich.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Fantastic to see you again. My name is Grant. I am an American English teacher, and this channel is all about how you can become a clearer, better, and more confident English speaker. A couple weeks ago, I shared a listening lesson that featured a speech done by President Barack Obama. A lot of you guys liked that video and asked if I could share a video which features Donald Trump. As you probably know, he is a very controversial person. You either love him or you hate him. You know, I want to keep this channel pretty casual and fun, so I wasn't sure if a Trump video would be a good idea. But I found a really funny interview that Trump did when he was on a famous American talk show. This interview is from 2015, back when Trump was still running for president. I think it's very entertaining and will be great listening practice for you guys. First, we'll learn some new vocabulary words, then watch a clip from the video, and you will answer listening questions about what you just watched. Let's get started.
Thank you. I'm about to go out for my interview with Jimmy Fallon. I'll call you back after I comb my hair. Talk to you in 3 hours. Wow, I look fantastic.
No, we look fantastic, and I mean really fantastic.
All right, let's review a little bit of what we just watched. Now, listen carefully and write down what you hear Jimmy say now.
I'll call you back after I comb my hair.
Okay, let's hear that again.
I'll call you back after I comb my hair.
He says, I'll call you back after I comb my hair.
I'll call you back after I comb my hair.
Now listen for what Trump says here.
We look fantastic, and I mean really fantastic.
Let's hear that again.
We look fantastic, and I mean really fantastic.
He says, we look fantastic, and I mean really fantastic.
We look fantastic, and I mean really fantastic.
All right, now let's review some vocab words that you will hear in the next video clip. A lightweight, as a slang noun, this means a small, weak, and not tough person. So it's not good to be a lightweight. If a person is qualified, that means they are smart, talented, and experienced enough to do something. And a debate is a formal, professional argument. In the next clip, they will talk about the presidential debates, the debates between everyone that's trying to become president. Let's watch the clip now.
All right, we've got a big interview with Jimmy Fallon coming up. But let's be honest, Fallon's a lightweight. No way he deserves to interview me. The only one qualified to interview me is me.
Me interviewing me, that's what I call a great idea.
Of course it's a great idea. We thought of it. Okay, interview time. Question 1. Are you ready for the Republican debate next week?
You know, the truth is, I'm always ready. It's really going to be a big debate, but I'm always ready.
It's not just big, it's huge! Huge!
Okay, one thing you might not understand is the huge joke at the end of the clip.
It's not just big, it's huge!
For some reason, I don't know why, Donald Trump often pronounces the word huge as huge. If you listen to him in interviews, when he says huge, it sounds like huge.
Sometimes they say huge. Not a bad one. Huge tax.
Some Americans notice that and they kind of make fun of him for it. So that's the explanation behind that joke. All right, let's do some more listening practice. Listen and write down what Jimmy says here.
The only one qualified to interview me is me.
Let's hear it again.
The only one qualified to interview me is me.
He says, the only one qualified to interview me is me.
The only one qualified to interview me is me.
Which is really funny. Donald Trump has a reputation for thinking that he's smarter and better than everyone else. So this is something that he might actually say or think. Let's do another one. Listen for what Jimmy says here.
Of course, it's a great idea. We thought of it.
I'll play that again.
Of course, it's a great idea. We thought of it.
He says, of course it's a great idea. We thought of it.
Of course, it's a great idea. We thought of it.
Now listen for what Jimmy says here.
Are you ready for the Republican debate next week?
Let's hear that again.
Are you ready for the Republican debate next week?
He says, are you ready for the Republican debate next week?
Are you ready for the Republican debate next week?
All right, one word you might not know in the next clip is Jenga, which is a game where you stack a bunch of wood blocks and each person removes a block until the entire thing falls down. They will mention Jenga in the next clip. Just watch.
Next question. How are you going to create jobs in this country?
I'm just going to do it.
Right. But how?
By doing it. It just happens. Just by doing it.
Genius! You and therefore me are geniuses. Next question. You said that you get Mexico to build a wall at the border. How do you plan to do that?
Well, since I'm you, why don't you tell me?
How am I going to get Mexico to build a wall? Easy. I'll challenge them to the biggest game of Jenga ever. I'll make them set up the board. And then when they finish, I'll say, I don't want to play anymore.
Okay, now I want you to pause the video and speak your answer to this question. According to the video, how will Trump create more jobs? He's just gonna do it.
How are you going to create jobs in this country?
I'm just going to do it.
Which is funny because when he was running for president, Trump had a reputation of not having a clear plan. And so this is kind of making fun of that when he says, oh, I'm just going to do it by doing it. Next, how will Trump get Mexico to build his wall? Trump will challenge Mexico to the largest game of Jenga ever. After Mexico sets up all the pieces, Trump will say, "I don't want to play anymore." That's really funny. That was my favorite line from this clip. I think that's so funny. All right, now listen carefully and write down what Trump says here.
Since I'm you, why don't you tell me?
Let's hear it again.
Since I'm you, why don't you tell me?
He says, "Since I'm you, why don't you tell me?"
Since I'm you, why don't you tell me?
Now listen for what Jimmy says here.
And then when they finish, I'll say, I don't want to play anymore.
Let's listen again.
And then when they finish, I'll say, I don't want to play anymore.
He says, and then when they finish, I'll say, I don't want to play anymore.
And then when they finish, I'll say, I don't want to play anymore.
All right, the next clip is a little bit harder. They use some difficult vocab words. A hedge fund. This is a business English word. It's a style of investing where many rich people invest in many companies and try to make money. Well off as an adjective means doing or living well. And cut as a verb, it can mean like a cut on your skin, but it also can mean to reduce or remove something. Trump will talk about government spending, which is the government collecting taxes from the people and then spending that money. So it's the government spending tax money. And corporate taxes, these are taxes that large and medium-sized businesses have to pay the government. All right, let's watch the next clip.
You want to know something? That's genius.
I knew it was. Next question. You recently said, and I quote, hedge fund people make a lot of money and they pay very little tax. I want to lower taxes for the middle class. How else do you plan to help the economy?
Look, I'm really rich. I know how to run a business, and I know this. Our country's going to be well off with me. So here's what I'll do. First, we have to cut government spending. It's out of control, totally out of control. Then we've got to lower corporate taxes. It's become impossible to do business in this country. We've got companies shipping thousands of jobs overseas. That's got to end. And it's going to end. Remember that. It's going to end.
Okay, that one was a little bit harder, and maybe you don't understand everything. That's okay. But try your best to answer this question. According to the video, what are Trump's plans for the economy? Trump wants to reduce government spending and cut corporate taxes so it is easier to create and grow businesses in America.
We have to cut government spending. It's out of control, totally out of control. Then we've got to lower corporate taxes. It's become impossible to do business in this country.
Now let's do some more listening. Listen and write down what Jimmy says here.
How else do you plan to help the economy?
Let's hear that again.
How else do you plan to help the economy?
He says, how else do you plan to help the economy?
How else do you plan to help the economy?
Now listen for what Trump says here.
Our country's going to be well off with me.
Let's listen again.
Our country's going to be well off with me.
He says, our country's going to be well off with me.
Our country's going to be well off with me.
Finally, let's listen for what Trump says here.
We have to cut government spending.
Let's hear it again.
We have to cut government spending.
He says, we have to cut government spending.
We have to cut government spending.
Okay, I have one more clip for you. And this one talks about a few American celebrities. Gary Busey, this guy in the picture, he's an American celebrity and he's known for being kind of crazy. And he knows and is friendly with Donald Trump. So they mention Gary Busey in the next clip. Here, a Supreme Court justice. This is a person that is part of the United States Supreme Court, which is the highest judge and court system in America. And finally, if somebody is dopey, or if a person is a dope, that means that they are dumb and unintelligent. So it's an insult to call a person a dope. There are some other definitions of this word, but this is how it's being used in the next clip. Let's watch.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy staring at my beautiful reflection. I'm like a Greek god that just took a bath in a pumpkin spice latte. Okay, one last question, and be honest. If you win, is your vice president going to be Gary Busey?
Look, I love Gary. He's fantastic. But more of a Supreme Court justice, in my opinion. Vice president's a very serious job, so I'm probably going to go with somebody else. I would say maybe Kanye West.
Smart move. All right, guess it's time to go out and talk to that dopey goofball Jimmy Fallon and give him the biggest ratings his pathetic show has ever seen. How do you think it's going to go?
It's going to be really classy.
It's going to be really fantastic. It's going to be huge. Start the music.
All right, now I want you to summarize what Trump said about his possible vice president. Trump said he doesn't want Gary Busey as vice president because it's a very serious job. Instead, he's thinking about choosing Kanye West. And if you didn't know who that is, he is a rapper. He's an American hip-hop artist. So he would not be a likely person to be a vice president. All right, final set of listening questions. Listen and write down what Jimmy says here.
I'm like a Greek god that just took a bath in a pumpkin spice latte.
Let's hear it again.
I'm like a Greek god that just took a bath in a pumpkin spice latte.
He says, I'm like a Greek god that just took a bath in a pumpkin spice latte.
I'm like a Greek god that just took a bath in a pumpkin spice latte.
Now listen for what Trump says.
So I'm probably going to go with somebody else. I would say maybe Kanye West.
Let's hear it again.
So I'm probably going to go with somebody else. I would say maybe Kanye West.
He says, so I would probably go with somebody else. I would say maybe Kanye West.
So I'm probably going to go with somebody else. I would say maybe Kanye West.
All right, next one. Listen for what Trump says.
It's going to be really classy.
Let's listen again.
It's going to be really classy.
He says, it's going to be really classy.
It's going to be really classy.
I think that is so funny. The only person qualified to interview me is me. I hope you guys liked that. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you doing? I put out new lessons every week, so you should totally subscribe to keep getting these fun, free English lessons. Thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.